Welcome to a meeting of Game Pass Anonymous. My name is Ren Benolds, and I play video games. This is a podcast where we have in-depth discussions of games currently on Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass. This week, we finished playing the 2014 game Fable Anniversary from Lionhead Studios, which is a remake of Big Blue Box's 2004 fantasy masterpiece, Fable. Would anyone else care to share?
Hi, I'm the Law Morris, and I'm a gamer.
I'm Ethan, and I'm a gamer.
Thank you guys for joining us. So yeah, what did you guys think of the end of Fable?
Well, like the last 2/3, really, because we skipped a week, we crammed 2/3 of the game into one.
Yeah,
that's true. That is true.
I really liked it. I mean, I
really liked the story.
The story was awesome.
Yeah, the story is great. Ethan does not seem to agree about the story. What's your beef with the story?
I did not have fond feelings towards the second 2 and 3, or 2/3 of the game. The story just kind of left me confused about a few things. It's like, okay, what's the... I don't understand what Jack of Blades' motivation was for, I want to kill everything.
Evil.
He's just evil.
Yeah.
well, and the sword, partially, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I understand the, okay, I want to get the powerful sword, and then it's I want to use this to just kill everyone. It's wait, what? Why?
Ethan, if you were evil, you would understand.
That's true. You played Virtuous.
That's fair. I'm the one person who played Virtuous up until the end.
Because I killed the shit out of my sister at the end.
I mean, I also did, because I'm not just going to leave a sword lying around.
I did not kill my sister. I'm a better person than both of you.
Okay.
But it's funny because I was as soon as I was presented with the opportunity to kill Teresa, I was like, well, clearly I'm not supposed to kill Teresa because after having played Fable 2, I know Teresa is a prominent character in that game.
Yeah.
So they clearly are saying the thing to do is to not kill her, but fuck that. I am an evil bastard, so I am going to kill her.
Or you try and kill her, but don't actually succeed, and that's an important part in her character development for 2 and 3.
Well, apparently in the last chapters, you didn't actually kill Jack of Blades.
Oh, God. We got to play the lost chapters now.
No, fuck that. I don't need to kill Jack of Blades again.
No. Please,
Okay.
no.
So I
had to do the fucking whole arena 3 times or so. No, it was only 2. But fuck, that was I was so mad at myself the first time for just trying to go for the money and then losing it on the... I lost a fucking whisper after going for the fucking money the whole time. And I was so mad because I was just I have to play all of this again?
Yeah. Yeah, because... no, I did it 7-ish times because I hate myself, or continued to hate myself, and went for the go through it without getting a scratch on me. And I kept having the
oh my God, you are a fucking masochist.
Not worth it.
Well, with Physical Shield, it seems easy, and then you're I have a little bit of mana left, and then you get 2 hit by 2 monsters, and it's without a scratch failed. I'm fuck!
Oh,
so did you eventually get it?
Makes my brain hurt.
Yeah, no, I got that. Or no, sorry, scratch that. I did give up on that.
Okay, I was gonna say that would be so fucking hard to get through every round without taking a hit.
Well, yeah, it's basically just put Physical Shield on and then be mindful enough to use a will potion before it runs out. Because if you get hit while Physical Shield is up, it doesn't count.
Okay. So So I wanted, because Ben, I'm glad you brought up the arena. This is something I wanted to talk about because, like, I remember playing this game when I was a teenager, and I felt pretty stupid because, like, my friends were like, I couldn't beat Jack of Blades, and my friends were like, "Oh, what? Like, you can't beat Jack of Blades? He's so easy." And I was like, "No, he's fucking not. Like, what are you talking about?" And I think that this game is just tuned in a certain way that, like, just some builds make the game way too easy and some builds make the game way too hard.
Well, no, but so then the thing that, like, so the first time I played the arena, like, I had, like, I was talking to Ethan about this earlier. I had one of the stone trolls fucking targeting me the second time, whereas the first time, Whisper was not doing a damn thing. And both of them were fucking targeting me. Instead of only one targeting me and one targeting Whisper. The second time, it was fucking easy. Because it was just like, okay, I'll just use dash. And I'll just dash in, attack when I see that he's going to do the thing where he stomps and makes the thing come out. I'll dash back out. Because there's only one attacking me. But the first time, it was like, okay, I'm trying to do that strategy. But then randomly, I'll get hit by a rock from the other one. And it's just like, okay, this is fucking impossible.
And it's not that hit that probably fucks you up, it's the stagger, because again, running physical shield all the time, it's like, oh, I got hit by a rock, like another 5 more and I'll have to chug a will potion.
Yeah, no, it's like literally, it's the stagger, because then I would get knocked down and then I would get staggered, then I would just get repeatedly staggered because they would just keep hitting me with rocks. And it was just like, fuck, this is like fucking WWE 2K fucking 7. Like, I'm gonna fucking pull my hair out.
Yeah, I remember you being super pissed about that. So like, Ethan, because you were saying that you like spammed physical shield, you were talking about that.
Just never turned it off.
Right. You were talking about that last time we were on, and
so you just changed to virtuous, you bitch.
No, I didn't change to virtuous. I was very evil until the end. But then, like,
which is just the worst time to be good.
Well, okay, at the end though, they literally give you so many missions that it's like, unless you're just like mad evil with like giant horns and a red cloud at your feet, they give you so many things where it's like you don't have any choice but to do this.
And be good. Kind of good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I was neutral by the end of the game, but I was like, I had full on horns earlier in the game.
So that's I didn't buy meat ever. I just bought the chicks.
Oh.
And ate chicks constantly so that I would get more evil from every time I
That is commitment.
I never bought meat or chicks. I only bought health potions and resurrection files.
I would buy health potions and resurrection files and will potions too. But I bought a lot of chicks because as soon as I realized that I would get more evil from eating chicks, I was like, this is something that needs to happen.
This is something that needs to happen.
Literally all you need in the game is will potions, a decent weapon, and physical shield. And then you can run around in your underpants.
You're as evil as, like, you can be as evil as ever, and people are still just mad in love with you. You're just like a terrible person who has, like, clearly murdered, like, several guards and multiple people in the city. Even people who have loved him. And other people just still love you.
They just fawn over you. And that's actually something that I really liked about the game. So, like, as I was evil as shit and, like, people didn't really know me, they were just, like, afraid of me, staying away from me, telling me to go away. Like, I would get kicked out of shops and I would get fined for trespassing because they told me to leave a shop. But then the more famous I got, suddenly, like, I was the same amount of evil, if not more evil than I was before, but I'm famous. And so people are like, oh yeah, like, I'm Chicken Chaser, I love him. And it's like,
you never changed it? I was just ass-faced the whole time.
I changed it at the very end. For the final quest, I changed it to Maleficus.
The witch from Snow White.
That's Maleficent.
Oh.
No, but so that's actually something I really liked about the game. I thought that was like a funny commentary of like, yeah, I mean, you can be fucking evil as shit, but if you're famous, people love you.
Yeah, that is a cool system. I'm just sad the game railroads you so much towards being good.
Yeah.
The best spell in
The best
game
part of
so
it was
far is good only.
The best part of the entire game was the fact that I got an achievement partway through that was like, it's not a railroad or some shit like that, or
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
on a track or some shit like that.
Yeah, I kept seeing progress towards that. I don't know what it is though.
The achievements in this game, in the anniversary edition, were very good. Like they were
But
funny.
it's like it's a lot of anniversary edition games. They just give them out like fucking candy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like, oh, you did this very easy quest that is like mandatory in the game. Here's an achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I really liked that all of the achievements, or at least a lot of the achievements, were like very referential. So like one of them was Ass Creed. Whilst dressed as an assassin, be silent but deadly. So it's like dress up as an assassin and fart. There is no spoon. Use the power of mind control on an enemy and have them kill one of their allies. Like a lot of these were very referential, and I think that's like, this game has a good sense of humor, and that's something I really enjoyed about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that. Ethan, you were not as big of a fan about that part of that aspect of the game last week. Did your opinion of that change at all this week?
Of the gameplay or the achievements?
Achievements.
Well, I mean, I guess in
Colin.
general, the like comedic aesthetic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, didn't really improve. I mean, there's less funny parts, I feel like, towards the end, but yeah. I don't know. Basically no change on that. It's still just it hits a weird spot for me, I feel like.
Interesting. So Ethan, you've played Fable 2, right?
I thought
or
3.
only Fable 3.
Yeah, only Fable 3.
Did you feel the same way about Fable 3?
Yeah, I also didn't really like the humor and story in 3. 3 was just more interesting because, yeah, I did like the fact at the end of, like, if you're rich enough, you can just do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
That's fair.
I got the marital relations achievement. Flirt with an admirer in front of your spouse.
Oh.
I got married at the very end, so I didn't ever do that.
Who'd you marry?
I never did.
Just some random bitch.
What? I married Lady Grey.
I thought about it, but I decided not to.
It's the only way to get one of the silver keys in the game.
That's understandable.
But those are actually really well hidden.
Yeah,
in 2 and 3, they're way less well hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I beat the game and only got like 3 or 4.
Yeah, same. I think I found 4. But so Ethan, you say like, oh, all you need is invisible shield and a decent weapon.
Yeah.
And like, I discovered all I needed was plate armor and a good weapon. And like, I could just basically brute force anything. I almost never used magic.
Yeah.
That's like me and most RPGs.
Yeah. No, I almost never used magic, and it was like...
That is literally like my character in most RPGs, but I went with like a magic / swordsman, and but then ultimately ended up just mostly using dash. Like, especially on big enemies, I'd just dash in, attack, dash out.
Yeah.
Dash in, dash out.
Yeah. So how did you guys
dash in, just run in and attack and then dash out?
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about the prison sequence?
Oh, that was my least favorite part of the story.
I agree.
I don't know what it added to the story. Like, I get of, like, maybe it's a, like, attempt to, like, make you hate Jack more. It's like, didn't you already achieve that with him, like, blinding your sister, imprisoning your mom, and also killing your dad, which they, like, forget to mention towards the end?
Yeah, they never bring that back up.
Yeah.
I felt like it was, like, it felt very padded and unfinished.
Yeah. And, yeah. Plus... Yeah, that combined with the fact where he, like, ambushes you when you're talking to Maze, it's like, okay, if he has the ability to just, like, insta-stun me or whatever, like, why didn't he use that in the last fight?
Yeah.
And yeah, especially the prison sequence one where he just, like, spawns a bunch of dudes around you. It's like, I've fought tougher fights than this. Like, why is my character giving up?
That's also a good point. Like, yeah, think about the fucking time you fight Twin Blade.
Yeah. So what was the toughest fight for you guys?
Jack of Blades.
The arena?
No, actually Jack of Blades.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Jack of Blades was probably
a
little tough. No. The arena, I still beat them the first time, those 2 stone trolls. But that was the most frustrated I was playing the game, was when I was fighting those 2 stone trolls and both of them were attacking me the first time. Like, I was so mad. The first time I lost the arena, I just turned the game off, and I was just, when I realized that I had to play it all again, I was just like, fuck this, I'm walking away right now.
Not going to deal with this right now.
I'm going to come back to this later. But it was like, Jack of Blades was pretty fucking hard too. I don't know. Ultimately, I guess because I beat those guys both times. The only reason that Whisper beat me was because at that point I was just out of fucking potions and shit.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh great, now I have to fight Whisper too, and I don't have any potions. Like, this is awesome. Like, I fucking. So I don't know.
I feel like that's more points in favor of fucking physical shield, because, like, I bought the, like, 47 will potions you could buy at the start of the fight, and I only went through, like, half of them that entire fight.
See, I spent my money on plate armor before the arena and health potions. I didn't lose a single.
I tried to steal stuff from the guy.
That also works.
I didn't lose a single resurrection file. Nice. You stole some chicks and ate them. I didn't lose a single resurrection file, and I used quite a few health potions, but, like, I would say the toughest fight for me was probably Twin Blade, because as soon as I had the full plate armor, the game was a breeze.
But you weren't using, because, like, Dash made Twin Blade stupid easy.
Exactly. So I wasn't using magic, and I didn't have my plate armor when I fought Twin Blade.
Yeah. Twin Blade was a little bit difficult now that I think back to it, but I did make it significantly easier by going into the tent. So that I wasn't getting backstabbed by those guys when I went towards the edge of the ring.
Yeah,
I just would dash like crazy, and then I would, like, get, like, a ways away from Twin Blade and fuck up some of the guys. Then I would dash in, attack Twin Blade from the back. I was just dashing all over the place, though. That dash was definitely my preferred magic. That and the lightning.
Well,
because the lightning, you could just, like, freeze up like 4 guys at once.
And that's I think
is useful.
I think the fact that we all played this game in really, really different ways does speak to the quality of the game in at least to some degree, in that, like, we all chose radically different strategies and it worked for all of us.
Yeah. With varying degrees of success.
Yeah. And I think that I think that, like, But I think that it is cool that, like, Ethan, you were talking last time about, like, how incredibly easy the game was for you up to that point because of Physical Shield. But at this, like, after playing the rest of it, I feel like as soon as I got my plate armor, I think the game was easier for me than it was for you with Physical Shield. Because, like, I had no problem with Jack of Blades. Jack of Blades was a breeze.
Okay. Jack of Blades and Maze probably are two exceptions. Because for some reason, their attacks did, like, a shitload of damage to Physical Shield. Like, I had Physical Shield maxed, and Jack was, like, almost one-shotting the whole Physical Shield on every attack. And I'm like, what the shit is this all of a sudden, game?
Oh, yeah. No, I had my toughness at, like, level 7, I think.
I also had my toughness up because I maxed out all those to get the sword and the stone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I had my toughness at like level 7, and then I had the plate armor. And like Jack of Blades, if he was gonna kill me, it would take like 3 or 4 hits.
Huh.
I was just using chainmail.
Chainmail is good. Were you using a one-handed weapon or a two-handed?
One-handed.
Yeah, see, that's how I played the game. That's how I played the game when I was a teenager. It was like I used a katana and chainmail, and this time I used a great sword and plate armor, and like the game was, I would say, too easy.
Huh.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess, I don't know, I feel like that was more my complaint towards the last half, is just the random difficulty spikes, or like inconsistent difficulty at least. Because again, it was, for the vast majority of that, it was just like mash X and then like chug a will potion when my will gets low, and that's it. And then all of a sudden, Maze and Jack of Blades show up, and they're like, hey, like for no discernible reason, our attacks like take out the entire Physical Shield in one shot. And especially in Jack of Blades, I remember I got in the really annoying spot of like, okay, I leveled up my like multi-strike so I can do a ton of damage to him. Oh, he hit me. Let me like quick repo on my Physical Shield. Okay, let me cycle through to the multi-attack. Oh, while I was trying to cycle through, he hit me again. So now I have to cycle back to the Physical Shield. And just sucks. Repeating that. And then then it gets to the point where he's flying. It's like, oh, glad my melee weapon's useless now.
Well, and that's definitely a thing. The staggers were a problem. Like that's like my biggest complaint about the game, is just like getting like combo staggered. Like, I get staggered, and then immediately as soon as I get up, I get staggered again, and then immediately as I get up, I get staggered again, and so it's like, this isn't fun.
Yeah,
was my biggest complaint about the game,
and Ben,
that would happen too often.
Ben, I definitely agree with you. Like, especially like the one part that frustrated you the most, the 2 rock trolls. That's where I used, I would say, probably half of the health potions that I used in the entire arena. Was I got stuck between the rock trolls, and like you said the first time, Whisper wasn't doing shit for you, and she did that for me too. Like she wasn't doing anything for me, and the way I fixed that was like I basically put one of the rock trolls between myself and the other rock troll.
I tried to do that, and it didn't. Like, I was still getting hit by the fucking rocks.
Really?
Yeah. I was just like, oh, this is fucking awesome.
The most difficult thing, like the biggest problem I ran into with that strategy, was that I had very, very little room for error when like running away from the circle of rocks in between me and the fence.
Yes. Another thing that I had a complaint about is, so like you accidentally click the left stick and make yourself sneak, and then you press A to sprint, and it doesn't take you out of sneak.
Oh yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible controls.
Yeah, no, this game had some pretty bad controls for sure. Ethan, I think you can echo that sentiment with their cycling issues.
Yeah, no. If you want to be a spellcaster, like, have fun cycling through a menu.
Oh God, yeah, that was also. Yeah, that was also to the point
But
where
thank God I can fart anytime I want.
Hotkey of
middle of the
farting.
I'm glad they had their controls in order.
Well, I mean that does
I'm gonna fart.
that does like kind of point to the sense of humor of like cycling through spells, but there's a fart button.
Yeah, bad humor.
That's very funny. I did get a little bit frustrated in the road to the prison when the undead were just like infinitely spawning.
That was what.
Oh, I loved that part.
I thought the undead were stupidly easy to kill, but that was one thing that kind of annoyed me in certain places. Like you'd go through an area, then you'd go like into the end of the area and go into the area immediately after it, and there would just be fucking people again for you to fight.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, even though you had just beaten the mission or whatever, it's like,
yeah,
how are there people back here for me to fight again? Like, I get it, it's just the game, so it's just like fucking generating fucking enemies.
Oh, yeah.
But it was one of those things where it was just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck that. That reminds me of a complaint I had like super early on because we stopped right before the hop cave. And again, masochist, I'm taking on all the boats.
Oh my God, no!
I took.
Yeah, no, that was fucking the hob cave.
Was hard.
Was stupid. I was like, why did I take these boasts? Fuck me! I want to kill myself.
Yeah, the hob cave was actually maybe the hardest part of the game.
Maybe. Well,
that kid is also retarded.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Ben.
He's so dumb. Like, I'm like, stay here, and he would still follow me. And
yeah.
Oh, the little kid.
Yeah, like in that one part, it's a fucking narrow ass cave, and there's a fuck ton of hobs as soon as you get to the very end of it. And so you're like, okay, if you don't stay back here, you're gonna get killed. And sometimes he just fucking run up to you after, like, part way through the fight, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Hey, Horseface, I was thinking we could go. No, so the way I escaped that was I just counted on being able to run faster than the hobs could kill the kid. And so I just ran past all the hobs because as soon as you get to the next exit, the kid spawns to you.
Yeah, the kid teleports,
Oh,
Jesus.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, see, my masochism is like, I'm going to take the boast of the kid takes no damage.
Oh.
And then the fucking game, that narrow bit you're talking about, I remember specifically of like, I went through it, I cleared it all out, got the kid, went back in expecting an empty cave.
Oh no, they respawn more.
Yeah, not only do they respawn more, they have like a hob to your right and a hob to your left immediately as you enter through the door. It's like, I'm sorry, game. What am I supposed to do here exactly to prevent damage to this kid?
Well, it's like you said last time. You were saying how some of the boasts are just like impossible.
And I don't mean to sound like an apologist for the game, but like we do have to remember that this game, like Fable, came out on the Xbox, and think about how much RAM was on the Xbox.
Oh yeah, I know. We looked it up last week, didn't we?
I don't know if we did, but I'll look it up right now. But like, I'm sure it was just a RAM management thing, but like, it doesn't make it less frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And the fact that this game still runs so bad,
bad,
made me restart my Xbox One X like
it froze on me
times.
Yeah, it froze on me mid-arena one time. That was not fun.
I lost an hour and a half of progress from Twin Blade up to the arena, and then I just was like, kind of like you, Ben. I was just like, not going to deal with this right now, and I walked away.
Yeah, it's like astonishingly bad that it runs.
Optimization for sure is terrible.
Yeah. And even like RAM issues aside, like that's not an excuse for just like bad game design when it comes to the boasts of like, it's basically impossible to complete this boast because we spawn an enemy next to you.
Remember there was the one that you had last week where it was like, if I do this one boast, I can't do this other boast, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Or it cost more to complete. Oh yeah,
that's what it was.
Than you would get from it. Yeah.
Last week when I made a counterpoint to that of like, oh well, life is unfair. That was very apologist for the game for sure. And I don't want to sound like an apologist for this game because you guys are making some really valid points. But I do think that this is a game that doesn't have a difficulty setting, and introducing the boasts and introducing some boasts that like
the boasts in the original version.
Yes. And introducing some boasts that can't be done in conjunction with others. Not only does it introduce variation, but it also introduces difficulty into the game.
Yeah. I still think that it's one of the like it just that as a remake, I think they should have just put a little bit more effort into it. It just feels like it's like a half-assed remake.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And like I said last week, I really like the concept behind the boasts. I just think like there should have been more thought into, okay, how should we structure these boasts so that, they aren't counterintuitive or aren't like in a situation where
make it clear at the beginning, like, hey, sometimes you may not be able to complete all of these boasts.
Yeah. The execution on the boasts. Like a little
disclaimer here or something like that. Like
the execution on the boasts, I think,
to take all of them, but you may not be able to complete them all, or something like that.
And I think that's one point where the game really shows its age more than anywhere else. Is like that's just a super 2004 thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm saying why it's
a lazy remake.
It's a lazy remake. Yeah.
Yep.
I totally agree.
Because it's like, in 2014, you should have done a little bit better than that.
Yeah, you should have fixed the problems. And I understand, like, especially with games like Halo Anniversary, I understand the dedication to and commitment to, like, preserving the original and just modernizing the original experience. But, like, introduce some quality of life things.
Exactly.
It's not like
Halo is like it's like almost it's different.
And Halo was so incredibly polished for its time, whereas this game was not. Like this game, it was about average level of polish for 2004, whereas Halo had Halo and Halo 2 had such insane levels of polish that literally they could just slap a new graphics engine on those games and like they still play and look like they still play fantastic. It was just a matter of making them look better.
Well, and they were in development I don't know how long this game was in development, but Ethan, you were about to make a point. Sorry, and I kind of interrupted you.
Yeah, shoot.
You can remember
what it was. I mean, I guess skipping around, I guess I just had a question about this. For you guys in Jack of Blades in his flying stage, did he do some attack that like seemed like a bug at first? Because I kept having an issue where like the first time it happened, I thought like, because it sounded and felt exactly like a Skyrim physics glitch of, like when an item gets like stuck in a wall and is just vibrating rapidly. Because I was just like running along and then all of a sudden I hear that drrrr, and like I start taking continuous damage. I'm like, what the hell was this glitch? And then it kept happening.
Yeah, I actually had that too. And so I think that's just a feature?
Weird attack.
Feature.
It's
like
a weird
attack I
can't
block or avoid.
Yeah, and that one would take away like a third of my health, or maybe half of my health.
Yeah.
And so it was like,
same.
as soon as he did that, I would just hit a health potion and...
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because at that point, I was past being able to eat a chick from the quick.
Eating a live chick was not an option at that point.
Deep fried
Deep fried. Oh, sorry.
while alive.
While alive. No, so overall,
The bones provide the crunch.
I really
That's
enjoyed this game.
what it says in the description.
I'm glad you did.
I think that you enjoyed it more because of the nostalgia that you
Oh,
had
for sure.
for the original. Because like Ethan and I had not played the original, and I found this game to be very frustrating.
Yeah.
Frustrating, confusing. I don't know what the prison part added to the game aside from really annoying.
Like, I think that it would have. If I had nostalgia for it, I probably would have been a little bit more fond of it.
A little more forgiving.
Yeah, but ultimately, I found it quite frustrating, and so yeah, I think that like I guess we should. It sounds like we're ready to probably give out ratings. So
Yep.
I think we were all. I can't remember where anybody was. Maybe I should write this.
I think
this
we were
stuff
all
down.
at like a 7 last time.
Yeah, something like that, roughly. Ethan, let's hear where you think you finished.
4.
Whoa.
No, I was not a fan of it. Again, yeah, the prison section was just completely unnecessary. The difficulty
That's boring.
just went all over the map. Like, the Kraken fight was a cakewalk, and then Jack of Blades is like, hey, guess what? All of a sudden I do a ton of damage to, like, your build's main strength.
The thing that you've been relying on the entire game.
Yeah, and also, I hope you came into this fight with a good bow, because you'll have to use it.
Okay, but so I warned you guys to have a good bow going into the prison sequence. The game does a pretty good job of giving you the weapons you need.
Yeah, like I got an obsidian bow like right before I went into the prison sequence.
I think I got like an ebony one.
I got an ebony bow.
Oh, damn! You guys had a better one than me. Fucking bastards.
But yeah, it is still frustrating to have a game where it's like, oh, you can play like however you want, and then to like so severely punish certain play styles.
Yeah.
In certain areas, it's like, can I though?
Yeah, that is definitely very frustrating.
Ben, what about you?
I think I would I'm a little more favorable. I would give it a 6.
A 6. Okay. So you went down a little bit, but not as far as Ethan.
No, yeah, I'm not going to go... Like, I think I'm still fond of the story, but it was very frustrating. Like, the performance... I mean... I might even have to drop it to a 5 because of the performance stuff.
Don't talk yourself out of that 6.
Too late.
If the game performed better, it would have a 6. But the performance issues really do take it down to a 5 because the performance issues are terrible. For a remake of a game that came out in 2004, for this 2014 game to perform this poorly on the most
powerful Xbox.
The most powerful Xbox available is terrible.
True. There's no denying that. So I think, Ben, you mentioned I have nostalgia for this game for sure, and that definitely helped me overlook the performance issues. Also, I felt like where we stopped last time was right where the game was starting to get really good. And like everything up to that point was like, yeah, it was okay. But like everything beyond that point, except the prison sequence, to me was like, this is really good. And so I landed, and I'm sure it's a combination of a bunch of different things: nostalgia, my build, the way I approach the game, and just I landed on an 8.5 for this. I really enjoyed this game.
Like, so, like, I mean, if I'm breaking it down and I'm like rating just the story, I'd give the story like a 7.
Yeah.
But gameplay and fucking the fact that the game fucking runs terribly.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's fair points. Like,
are both things that, like, that to me, that drops at 2 whole points, and I think I'm gonna lock it in at a 5.
That's fair. Ethan, you said a 4 or a 4.5?
Yeah. No, 4.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick it in 8.5. I really liked this game.
I enjoyed the story because it added to my understanding of Fable. And like I was like, oh cool, Teresa, I know who that is from playing Fable 2 and 3, blah blah blah. But yeah, it does not play well. And yeah, I'm sure that I think that the nostalgia definitely adds something to you.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like you're like, oh, I remember this, and I'm like, oh, this is frustrating because it's not like what it was in Fable 2, where it was way easier to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely have really fond memories of like, staying up super late with Jeffrey Herbst one night and like trying to beat the arena without a scratch. And we just tried like way more than 7 times.
Jesus. And without physical shield?
Yeah, without physical shield, if I remember correctly.
Jesus.
It's a lot of dodging.
It is.
Yeah. No, that would be miserable.
And if I remember correctly, we couldn't do it. But
Yeah.
but no, I mean, I definitely have really good, like, I remember the first time I heard about this game, not knowing what it was, but knowing that it was kind of a big deal. I remember, like, discussing this game at the lunch table. I remember like friends spending the night and playing this game. This is definitely a special game to me, and I think kind of a pretty special game to Xbox in general. So
Yeah.
But I definitely
they should have
recognize-
invested a little bit more money in making it actually perform well.
I agree. Well, is that the end of this meeting?
I think so. I think that's about time to thank you guys for joining us for this meeting of Game Pass Anonymous. And if you like what you've heard, be sure to rate and subscribe. Join us next week when we'll be playing Outer Wilds, not to be confused with Outer Worlds.
Looking forward to that.
Be sure to check out our other podcasts, HardReset and NoRefunds. And make sure you check out ColdNorthPro.com, where you can see everything we do all in one place. See you next week.
Bye.